Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Michelle Kinderman coming to you from Wellness Outside the Box. And it is a beautiful morning here in New Jersey. And today I thought we could talk a little bit about body image. So if you noticed, the title was I Look Like a Fat Pig, um, which I can't even tell you how many times I've heard people say, including myself at times, I admit. And I think body image is an issue that both men and women struggle with, especially in our country, given the messages that we're fed about what constitutes a beautiful appearance, what constitutes a healthy appearance. We get a lot of those messages fed to us just through TV and media, magazines, and it's constant, and it starts during childhood and it continues through our life. And even though we don't think we're absorbing those messages, or we may not be aware of those messages, they're everywhere. um, so let me start with some self-disclosure. I can tell you a little bit about what I didn't like about my body over the years, um, which to some people may seem ridiculous. Hopefully some people will look at me and say, that's ridiculous. She's beautiful. She's thin. I'm just kidding. I don't think people will actually be saying that, but maybe some will. But I can tell you that throughout my life, I have had negative thoughts about my body from my toes all the way up to the top of my head, to my hair. My calves aren't big enough. My thighs are too big. My butt is a big gelatinous mess. I have too many rolls on my stomach. My triceps are too big and flabby. My biceps aren't big enough. My nose, is that a little bump in my nose? My hair, it's too long, it's too short, it's too wavy, it's too straight, it's too blah. I have bags under my eyes. I have wrinkles on my forehead. I have wrinkles around my mouth. My skin's too pale. I have too many freckles. My nails are atrocious. I have to hide my hands because my nails look terrible. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And it's been throughout my life, and it's been an ongoing struggle. I'm at a much better place now, certainly, than I was, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when I was a teenager. Um, I remember having thoughts even from the age of 10 of looking down and thinking, I have a big belly. And when I was 10, I was a stick. I was one of those scrawny kids, you know, just scrawny and long. And I look back at pictures now and there's not an ounce of fat on my body, but I remember looking down and thinking I had a belly. And a therapist told me once, didn't anybody ever tell you that that's how little girls stand, and little girls have little bellies that stick out because you sort of stand like this, and when you look down, you can see a little bit of a belly there. That's just the shape of little girls. Um, but no, nobody ever told me that. And I think it was just the constant messages around me that it started from a young age. Um, these days, most days, I'm happy with my body and my appearance. Um, there are days when I still, even with therapy, even being a therapist, I will still look in the mirror and sometimes think, oh my God, I look disgusting. My butt is big. I have too much cellulite. So I do most definitely have those days. It's an ongoing battle, but I try to stop myself, take a step back, and really use the tools that I've learned over the years to gain a clearer perspective. So, one of the things I learned is that it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about your body, because if you don't feel good about your body and the way you look, it won't matter. So you can be, in your partner's eyes, in your friend's eyes, in your parents' eyes, you can be, maybe even in the general public's eyes, you can be a model. And the world thinks you're beautiful and have a beautiful figure and gorgeous face and perfect hair. None of that matters if that woman does, or man has it in their head, their own head, that they don't look good, or that there's something about their body that's not right. Um, I've worked with people who were actually models who would sit on my couch, and in my eyes were beautiful. I mean, by American standards, they were stunning. And they would sit there and complain about all the things on their body that they didn't like. And it's so it really, and it doesn't matter if their partner or spouse tells them they're beautiful 100 times a day and loves the way they look, and if even the whole world is telling them they're beautiful, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks. So it certainly helps to have people around you who are supportive and compliment you. It certainly helps, but in the end, it doesn't hold as much weight, not nearly as much weight as what we think of ourselves and how we view ourselves. So that's one thing. Another thing I noticed is that how we view and judge other people's physical appearance is often a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. So, and I've been guilty of this in the past. Women are very difficult on other women, how they judge other women. They're very harsh. So, there've certainly been times when I've heard people say, or, in the past, I'm sure I have said, looked at another woman and maybe she's maybe she's, by American standards, overweight. And she's wearing shorts, and maybe she has a little crop top on, and she's kind of walking around, strutting her stuff. And, people may think, oh, she should not be wearing that. Look at her. Oh my God, she's got her rolls hanging out. Who does she think she is? Somebody needs to tell her she looks terrible, and she thinks her crap doesn't stink. And look at her walking around. Oh my God, can you imagine? So those conversations happen all the time. And if we're honest with ourselves, we judge other women pretty harshly. But over the years, I look at women like that now, and I admire them. I honestly admire them, no matter what their shape or size. If they're walking around in an outfit that I think is really cute, like a really cute striped top and some really cute shorts, and they're smiling and they're happy and they're enjoying the day, I think, God, that is great. And on the inside, who knows? She could be completely miserable and depressed, and it could be an act. Who knows? But to me, I look at the outside, I look at the body language, I look at how she's holding herself, what her face is showing. And often now what I see is a woman who's smiling, she's glowing, maybe she's walking with a friend or a colleague or a partner, and she's walking with confidence, her head's held up high, she feels good, she looks fabulous because she's wearing a fabulous outfit, and the way she carries herself, she feels good. Or at least that's what she's portraying. And I think, I really admire her. I think to myself, God, I love her outfit. And look how she pulls that off. She looks amazing. She looks amazing because it looks like she feels amazing, just the way she's holding herself, and she's smiling. And so whether she's 100 pounds or 800 pounds, if she's carrying herself like that, and it looks like she feels fabulous, and she seems to be enjoying her day, and she's laughing with her friend or her colleague or her partner or whoever she's with, it makes me smile. Like I admire that. So it's a complete different take. So I challenge you, next time you're looking at another man or another woman and you're judging them harshly or negatively, making negative comments about their appearance or what they're wearing or what their hair looks like, or just having all those judgments, I challenge you to sort of stop yourself and try to view the person differently. What do you think they're portraying from the inside out? Are they smiling? Do they look sad? Do they look irritated and angry? Try to focus on what their appearance is portraying emotionally. What kind of vibe are they sending out into the world? And then think about it. Maybe you'll have some empathy for them. Maybe you'll think, wow, that's amazing. They're such positive energy coming off them. They look so happy and well adjusted. And, we're judging based on appearance. but it's a twist on that. At least it's a positive, and you're focusing more on their internal than on their external. Their internal sort of being pushed outward. What is it saying about them? What kind of energy is it giving off? So I challenge you to sort of stop yourself and rethink that next time you find yourself doing that. And then also, I stop yourself and wonder how you feel about your own body. And maybe some of what you're seeing in others is more about what you feel about yourself. Are you judging them for how their hair is? Do you often judge yourself about your own hair? Are you unhappy with your own hair? Do you have to spend 3 hours in the mirror every morning with hair and makeup and whatever else to make yourself feel good? Or can you shower and run out and not even think about your hair and be content with it and feel that it's natural and it is who you are and feel good about it? Are you judging somebody's weight? How do you feel about your own weight on most days? Do you feel too fat or too thin or too square or too pear-shaped or too anything? Or do you feel good about how you look? Do you feel healthy and energetic and positive about your body? So I invite you to catch yourself when you're judging other people, and then stop and reflect on how you feel about yourself and your own body, because I think they might be linked. And something else that I always think about is there's, and I know a lot of people are going to have a hard time with this and maybe respond negatively to this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There's no secret to weight loss. The big secret is move more, eat less, or at least eat healthy foods. That's the big secret. Move more, eat less, eat healthy. The challenge with weight loss is not that. There's no secret. It's not about some special diet or some special technique or some special whatever. There's a million diets out there, and none of them are going to work if you don't fix what's up here. It's not about the physical, it's about the psychological. And if you don't adjust the psychological, you can try 1,001 diets and they won't work. They won't work. If you've ever seen that show, My 600-Pound Life, you see their struggles, and 9 times out of 10, Dr. Now makes them go to therapy because they struggle to break those same eating habits. And yes, it's about what they eat and how much they eat, because they're not moving more and they're not eating less, or they're not eating healthy foods. It is about that, their eating habits and the amounts they eat and the amounts that they exercise. But it's more about why they're eating, why they started putting on so much weight in the first place. And some of it, I'm sure, is genetics. But I think 90% of it is cognitive and emotional. So they end up at the psychologist, and then you hear the sessions about why the weight gain started. Maybe they had experienced a trauma. Maybe they fell into a depression for whatever reasons, and food became a comfort for them, or food became a way to turn their appearance into something that would push people away or push close relationships away in their minds. So the battle is mental, at least as much, if not more, than it is physical. So you really, if the doctor tells you, and an objective source like a physician, and they're not always objective, but if there's a physician that you trust, and he says that weight gain or your current weight is leading to diabetes, it's leading to shortness of breath, it's some way contributing to a decline in health for you, and he suggests that if you lose some weight, you might feel better physically, your health will improve, then I would really, really encourage you not just to try this diet and that diet and have them likely fail at some point. I would really encourage you to start with what's going on up here and seek help. That would be my first step. So I hope some of those tips and suggestions will at least get you thinking, because you're not a fat pig. I don't care what you look like, you are not a fat pig. There may be changes that you want to make. There may be changes that the physician thinks you should make to improve your health. But stop calling yourself that. Think about that negative talk in your head and stop it. Switch to your positives, and we all have positives. Are you kind? Are you nurturing? Are you funny? Are you smart? Whatever your positives are. Every time you catch yourself insulting yourself, switch it over and find at least two positives to negate what you just said to yourself, to negate that negative comment. And it's a daily battle. I and many of my therapist friends still struggle with it, but you have to bring it into your conscious awareness and really work on it. Work on making that shift, tweak those thoughts, and get yourself to a healthier, happier place. We can help you at Wellness Outside the Box. Just go on our website, wellnessoutsidethebox.com, or you can shoot us an email at info@wellnessoutsidethebox. And we can certainly help you, Kelly and I, in individual therapy. We have groups that you can join, and don't be afraid to reach out. It's such a common struggle. Thanks for listening. Bye.